Alrighty, Drew Brees. I feel like a lot of people are making a lot of excuses now that Tom Brady just ran through them all easy peasy, new team first year, won a ring, and then just kind of ended all the GOAT debates because there's nothing more to debate. He won all the head-to-head matchups. He's got 7 Super Bowls. He changed teams first year. He won. I mean, you have to get, I don't think there is any more debate of greatest quarterback of all time at the current moment. I have to say it's Brady. But a lot of people are starting to make some excuses out here. Drew Brees quote, "I only felt good in one game during the 2020 season." Oh, okay, alrighty, but you still were out there playing, so there's really no excuses, and I'm sure he's not using this quote as an excuse. We can see what else he says here in this article. But I mean, the Aaron Rodgers saying, winning, I feel like I've been successful in this league. You can't take that away from me. I feel like I've played the best I can, but then you just lost to Tom Brady. So you're kind of, cheapening, Tom Brady's win over you a little bit by saying all this. He goes and hosts Jeopardy, saying that he wants to be the permanent host and this and that. All these other quarterbacks, that were potentially greatest of all times. Aaron Rodgers coming into last season, we could have given, there were debates for that. Drew Brees, there were definite debates for that as well, having multiple 5,000 yards, all the records, all of that. But then you just go toe-to-toe with Tom Brady and you flounder and throw multiple interceptions and lose the game. And, he wins the Super Bowl finally. I mean, he comes to the NFC 1 year, already has the same amount of rings that Drew Brees has in the NFC, already has the same amount of rings that Aaron Rodgers has in the NFC. So all these other great quarterbacks, I feel, are kind of, cheapening Tom Brady's legacy by putting out all these quotes of, I wasn't good this year, or, I played my best and it just didn't work, but I'm still really great and I'm still proud of myself. You can't take that away from me. We see Patrick Mahomes on Twitter, we'll see in 20 years, you just lost head to head. It's over. It's open and done. He's out of his prime and he's still beating y'all. What is up with that? So let's see what Drew Brees says here in this quote. Anything good here? Is he really kind of making an excuse for it? Let's see. So, quote here by Drew Brees, "I only really felt good in one game from the perspective of I had all my tools in my toolbox. I had a lot of limitations throughout the season as to what I could and couldn't do, and I recognized that, and that's really hard for a competitor. That's really hard when you know what you should be able to do, and yet you can't because of various injuries or things that are taking place with your body. Quote, some of those things are just kind of freak things. Plantar fascia. You get damage in your shoulder. You get a broken ribs. You get punctured lung. You get all of this stuff that's going on. This abdominal thing that I was dealing with for pretty much most of the season, that as a quarterback, everything you do is rotation. And you can't rotate the way you want. You all of a sudden begin to accommodate in ways, and everything for you kind of narrows because it's like, well, I can't make that throw. I can't make that throw. I can't make that throw. So what's now in my toolbox? And it's harder to play the game that way, and yet you've got to find a way to still get it done. And I felt like we did that, but it was difficult. You felt like you did that. You got it done. You threw 3 interceptions against Tom Brady and lost against him. That's not getting it done. See what we're saying here? All this kind of wording here, it truly matters, man. We have to take, these players' words as, kind of the gospel. We can't assume everybody's lying all this time. So, maybe he's, talking up his injuries a little bit just to protect its own legacy. And if you don't think players protect their own legacy, I think you're sadly mistaken, folks, truly. If you're hailed as potentially one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, do you think you're ever going to say or do or, just say or do anything that hinders that argument? No, you're going to do anything in your power to protect. Oh my goodness, they think that I'm one of the greatest of all time. I got to keep this going. I want to be regarded as one of the greatest of all times, and they can say whatever they want publicly. I do not care. I truly do not care what you say publicly, because when we know, you don't 1,000% feel that way that you kind of act in public or what you say in public. Just to clarify that up a little bit. But I mean, all these wording, and then Tom Brady's just out here, taking small jabs and be like, yeah, y'all can say whatever you want, but I'm winning rings out here. I'm not getting injured. That's still part of being the greatest of all time. Going through an entire season at an older age, taking care of your body, avoiding all the hits. I don't care if your line is good or not. It's up to you not to get hit still, and it's still up to you to get it done. If you don't have the greatest receivers or any of this, it's still up to you. Lack of playmakers should not be a reason why you do not succeed in this league, honestly. I do not like that argument either. So, well, I do not like all these kind of quotes, all these other great quarterbacks coming out and saying, oh, this season was still good for me, even though we didn't win. I was banged up this season. That's kind of why we didn't really win. And we still did good in my injuries. And I'm still proud of us. And, this and this and that. But at the end of the day, you didn't win. You just lost against a candidate that you're up against on greatest of all time at the quarterback position. So we see Aaron Rodgers. I didn't like what we saw. We talked about that, him saying, whatever happens, I already feel like I've won in this league and all that. And, I feel at peace, inside. Like, it's just lame to say that publicly, I think. And I truly do not believe these competitors, if they truly are the big, bad, fearsome, I will do whatever it takes competitors that they say they are not truly believing what they're saying out here either. So I don't like it, man. Tom Brady's the GOAT, and he beat everybody. He beat everybody head to head, so you got to give it to him. And out of his prime, he did that. So these other quarterbacks can say whatever they want, man. But until y'all have 7 rings, I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to hear anything about it.